Okay. So let me know if my audio is good and that you can hear me well. I'm going to go hear the comments and all that. Because I was just like wanting to catch up with you guys for a little bit while I've got some spare time, which in reality, that's not even really a thing. I don't have spare time. I have a very different timeline compared to other people, I guess is what you should say that. Anyways, I was reading over this wonderful free paper that comes in the mail over here. And I noticed some interesting things. One being that the Asheville Regional Airport is going to be expanding. Ooh. Please, people, don't. Asheville's already got enough people. Okay. But this is about national park stuff. So we're going to get on that. Get on with that. I just think it's really messed up because this is what it is. Okay. Hi, Grandma Sherry. I was getting ready to read over this thing I saw in the newspaper. Hi, Squirrel. How are you guys? That they're going to be giving us what they're calling a parking. Let's see, how's it? An annual parking tag here in the Great Smokies for to help. This is what they're saying that it's for. It says the Great Smoky Mountains National Park leadership has decided to adopt the Park It Forward parking tag program and to increase camping fees beginning next year. Parking tags will be required to be displayed on any motor vehicle parked within the park boundary beginning March 1st of 2023. I have a real disdain for that day right now. Anyways, I have so much more. We will get into that before this is all said and done. But yeah, it's relevant. That day, it matters. Let me contain myself. Okay, approved parking rates are $5 for a daily parking tag, $15 for a parking tag for up to 7 days, and $40 for an annual parking tag. Why didn't you do it monthly? It cost me to be out of them, or well, yeah, I know, but I'm native here. I can't really go anywhere just yet. If I could though, like I had to stream the other night that I went to Oregon. Yeah. Anyways, I thought that was pretty cool. It says all revenue will stay in the park to provide sustainable. Y'all recognize that word, don't you? Sustainable year-round support focusing on improving the visitor experience, protecting resources, and maintaining trails, roads, historic structures, and facilities. Today marks a significant milestone in the history of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and I'm honored to be a part of it, said Superintendent Cassius Cash. I don't even know what to say to that. Like sometimes I just go, people, because like it's so. Whenever I react to things, I guess is some clarification for my response being so drastically different from like most people's in some of these. Hell no, we know that. I mean. Okay. I used to feel differently about the word they or that because I am in the same boat as you guys where I look at them and they are an entity of themselves. Don't necessarily consider the government wholly they, but they are a part of they, if that makes any sense. And the reason why I feel the way I feel and I react the way I do about some of these things is, well, for one, I do live in a national park. I literally live in a national park in a biosphere reserve, and it's protected by UNESCO. And I love the land here. Like I do. It's like, it's so important to me to protect it and do what I can to preserve what is left of it. and that's another thing that is hard for me to talk about, is like we get caught up on so many trivial little things, like the amount of land. And like what we do know is, for the large portion of us, we don't know shit. That's what we do know. And they lie to us about a lot of stuff, even me. They lie to me about a lot of stuff. Because I actively just, I'm so like, I don't care what anybody tries to tell me. I'm one of those people where, like, if it's on my brain and I feel like it's valid and the reason for me doing it, the cause is just, then I'll do that. Like, I will call up the Oval Office, like, yo, put him on the phone. No, for real, put him on the phone. I know it's his nap time, but like, can you just stop and put him on the phone? No, I'm just kidding. But they don't tell me shit. I mean, that's obvious. That's how they've kept everything so secret for so long. And the whole thing behind it really is pretty genius when you take a step back and look at it from a broader scope. And then again, like I was thinking about this the other day, like whenever we're investigating some of these things, like I stop and ask myself all the time, like, Emma, why are you doing this? Why is this important to you? How is this relative to you? How is this directly affecting you in your personal life every day? So that's something I'm constantly battling with myself back and forth, is like, do you want to do this? And do you want to go down this road? Are you sure this is the road you want to go down? And no, I'm not sure. But there's something in me that is like, it is literally like ingrained and stamped in my DNA that tells me that I have to do this. I can't stop what I'm doing. I can't not do this. I have to do this. Sometimes I ask myself, do you understand the gravity of that? That means you're going to be involved with some faction of the government at some point. And I am, that's a weird, I don't know how to say that without like it sounding weird or sounding just, I don't know, because honestly, a lot of us are, and we don't even know it. A lot of us already work for them and we don't even know it. We don't even really own ourselves. So, and that's something I struggle with too. It's like, if the whole thing was set up for us and its intent and its layout was so like infallible and perfect at first, then I came along and started picking at the strings, and it's like, ooh, let's unravel this tapestry and see what we got going on here. And then I was like, oh my God, put it back. And I can't put it back. And I can't unsee what I've seen, and I can't unread what I've read. So I can't unknow what I know. So I have to share it with you all now. So that's why I'm kind of doing what I'm doing, because I do feel like some of us are so indoctrinated with this narrative that they push on us from like the get-go, that like I'm concerned for their reaction if there was ever some form of like full disclosure, which I seriously doubt there would be, because if you do enough research, which I'm sure you guys have, no worries, then I think it's more than likely, if you do the research like I do, and so many of us have, then you come to sort of the same conclusion I have. Mine is obviously going to be a little bit different from most people's, but, and in due time, we'll get there. We'll sort that out. Like, I don't have words for a lot of the things that go on around me in my everyday life. And I used to be like, it's just you being paranoid. And I don't think that anymore. It's really hard for me to think that it's just me being paranoid, because in the grand scheme of things, how connected we all really are just through our phones, not telepathy wise, is how I know some of the things I know. It's just, it's only possible that you get down this one, eventually you go through all these tunnels in the rabbit hole, and then you'll get to the very end of said rabbit hole, which is, I guess, where we're heading once I start tunneling through the National Park Service. But I just don't know if we're ready for that. Like, I don't know if we are. I don't think we are. Like, there's so much stuff. There's maps that are wrong. There's maps that are wrong, and they've been wrong for a long time. There's places that have been distorted, and we look at them or think of them as being in a certain area in a certain way, and so just there's so many lies that I don't even know where to start some days. I don't even know. So that's why I picked the national park. I was like, okay, everything that I'll try to step away from, and okay, let's go over here and research some of this for a little while. Somehow, it always brings me back to the park, and I don't know how to feel about that, because that's, I mean, if you take into the different stats, it could be anywhere from 6 to 8 billion. If I read that, no, million. I think it's billion acres of land in the United States. I think that's the whole land. I don't know if that's national park or just could be just no. Maybe it's the entirety of land that part of the government owns or whatever. Nobody owns the land. That's another thing too. How are we in the year 2022 with all the technology that we have and all of the ability that we have to, yeah, I'm right there with you on that, squirrel. Oh my gosh, yeah. And definitely not. And it's so messed up. Like, it angers me because, man, when I start looking at it from like just my little corner over here in NC in the US and the Biltmore Estate, and then you start talking about Tartaria and stuff like that, like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. So, and then you got Raytheon in town, and it's like, and now they're like, they done got a road named after themselves here. Pratt and Whitney Lane, I think it is. I don't know. That's a subcontractor of Raytheon. Raytheon is a defense contractor for the Department of Defense. So they build their aerospace, I think. I think they're a huge company and they have different parts. The aerospace, I think, is the part that's here that they got going on over here. That would make sense to me too, that the airport is getting ready to expand. That would make sense because the aerospace stuff. So again, another thing I was wanting to do along with this readout of some of the national parks, because first of all, the fact that they're trying to jack us up $5, $10, $40 parking is a joke, because the Great Smoky Mountains National Park is the most visited national park for like 3 years in a row now, and I get a copy of their fiscal year budget. I download the PDF every year to go over it, and the numbers, they's not adding up. I don't even got a calculator, and I can look at that and tell you. I was like, and then y'all want to come and just stop. Let me just stop you right there and just be like, hold on. Let me ask the question. And then we'll wait. We'll be kind and we'll wait on the answer. Like, but they just stand there with that deer in the headlight look, like, we're letting them in now. We're like answering questions for them and stuff. Who did that? Where's security? I'm like, are you kidding me? I laugh about that. I live on technology drive, people. If that doesn't tell you that we live in a simulation, I don't know what else does. I'm good. I'm having another, probably like the 50th existential meltdown of the day. But yeah. Oh, okay. So there's this access road that runs parallel to the street right behind my house right now. And it's called Andrew Jackson Highway. Now, prior to like last year, if you were looking on Google Map, you wouldn't really see that road. It wasn't labeled. It was just looked like a dirt road, or like a secondary road is what they're called here. So it wasn't labeled. But when Raytheon moved in and started using that road as an access road to where they're located, because where they're located is across a river. So you got to go across the river to get to where Raytheon is. One of the access points to that river is hidden within Biltmore Park. well, it's not really hidden, but it was kind of hidden. I mean, it was kind of hidden. It's what a hard drive or a floppy. Oh my gosh. Um, or is it like a SD or is it a micro SD? Like, please. I get fired up over a doorbell and a battery not being. I'm telling y'all, I go every day, somebody else says something, and I'm so angry about so many things and so that I'll go, oh, really? Okay, well, define phone. Uh-huh. Okay, well, what about computer? Right. Okay, now do laptop. And USB. Right. You see where I'm like, I just start losing my mind after and the GPS thing and a handheld. It's just like, stop. It's like a Palm Pilot and like, hi. But then is it your car? Because it could be your car. And it could also be your car keys. Right? I mean, think about it. Or at least the way things go around in my house and the way people act towards me sometimes, that the phone and the car and the radio and the everything is all synced up. And for some reason, when Emma comes around, it just goes all the shit. I'm like, there's too much. Do you know how? Just me alone. Okay, just me alone. I walk into a room. Most of the time, I've got one pair of headphones on and working. I know, right? This is what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'll have this on. I'll have a pair in my purse. I have 3 phones, and I probably have a backup that's auxiliary plug in to the right. Okay, all of these things, because I carry them around and I use them so much, and I'm listening when I'm using them, and I pay attention to things while they're going on. Just leads me. It's like we were doomed from the get-go with the activating stuff. Like, that was the dumbest idea, I think, besides, I mean, okay, so if it's smart enough to start recognizing your face and recognizing your voice, then it's obviously capable of mimicking your voice to a perfect science, right? And everybody was just like, yeah, let's do it. See, my parents, and I grew up poor. And when I say poor, I mean dirt poor. Okay, dirt poor. And that was both my parents working. That's because the way this whole thing is set up and the infrastructure here is shit. To be nice. So I didn't even have a cell phone until I was like 18, and I didn't get a smartphone until I was in my mid-20s. I'm only 30. I'll be 36 in December. So I haven't had technology, social media, and all that stuff like everybody else has. And some people are on the same level as me, and some people are even worse off than me when it comes to technology. We're just all at different levels. We're still going to be going through this stuff for a while because of that, because of the difference in generations and the different levels of capability that each individual person has with their devices around them. And this was supposed to be about national park stuff, and now I'm just caught up on technology because technology is going to be my inevitable downfall. I just know it. That reminds me of Beavis and Butthead, like the unit. I think the unit wasn't it a USB drive that was like in his pants the whole time? But if they got security tags, I pulled this out of my shirt the other day because it was bugging me and it was all itchy and stuff. I was supposed to pull it out before I wash it and wear it. It's a security tag. It's paper thin. So imagine that being like exponentially smaller and slipped under your skin at birth. No, she did. Yeah, I did. So I wonder if this is a floppy disk or her hard drive. Please don't get me started. I'm so and I even get mad sometimes because I feel like everybody, and when I say everybody, I really do, y'all, feel like everybody's laughing at me like there's something that I miss. Like I get that it says live. I see the eyeball. I see the comments. I see the little icon, like the emojis, the icons. What are we doing? Like when are we gonna stop? Stickers, gifts. Aren't they all basically the same, just a different graphic form? Yeah. Make it make sense. Just make it make sense. I can't. Then I missed most of the Wide Awake show the other day because stupid stuff going on here. It's so what? The hard drive or the flaw? I guess so. But what I've been saying all week, ever since I watched what the flock, I've been saying that every time somebody has me cracking up or rolling whatever, I'll just be like, oh my god, I'm marbling over here. I'm marbling. I would like to do that though. I think that would be cool. Like like how people do wax figures and stuff. Like I know, but honestly, all I can teach people is random stuff. Just I'm good at being random as crap. That is me all the way to the T. I'm random, and I have like a lot of random knowledge of like so many different random things. Like I'm really good at Jeopardy actually, because like I said, I just know a bunch of random facts about stuff that's probably not even true. Anyways, it's just been indoctrinated into our brains, so we believe it. We don't question it, and it's just like I was reading. Okay, so earlier this morning, I was listening to Pearl Jam. I was listening to Jeremy. I looked up on the freaking screen, and it flashed Genesis 3:6. So I go look up Genesis 3:6. This is the way my brain works. The universe tells me to do something, I do it. And I listen through the music. So when I'm listening to music, I'll be getting downloads constantly that tell me things like subliminally, I guess, whatever. Which is another reason why I have all these existential meltdowns every day, because some of the stuff that these artists are trying to lay down for us is so like, whoa. And it's some of the stuff that we're already finding out as truthers and stuff. And it's scary. At least for me, when I'm looking at it, it's scary, like straight up. But I try not to obsess over the fear side of it, because if I do, then I won't, you get trapped. That's where that deer in the headlight thing comes from. They're frozen in fear because it's fight or flight mode, which is a hard mindset and mode to get your body out of once you have been put into what they call fight or flight mode, and you've been put into it like a lot or like consistently. It's like a thing that happens to you a lot. You get stuck in fight or flight mode, so you basically just live in fight or flight mode, and you don't know any other way. Which, reflecting upon myself now after saying that, I think is a large reason why sometimes I can seem erratic and all over the place, because I in the past have been in horrible situations where I was in fight or flight mode almost all the time. And so that's why I think I sometimes am not as calm as like some of the others are. Plus, I just have I'm just hyper aware, hypersensitive, hyperactive. Like I don't even dream. There's so much stuff going on, and my brain is always processing that. Like I can't even, like I dream, but it's very, very like short little bursts, and I don't always remember all of them either. So, which I think that our dream state is important, and there was more to it that we were supposed to learn, or that we were supposed to be able to do. But I don't think it's a realm that we are all supposed to necessarily go to or try to engage with, unless you know what you're doing. It's kind of like power. Knowledge is power, and with great power comes great responsibility. So, yeah, that's why I don't practice magic. Like I love it, but I don't practice it because Well, because for one, I know if I actually put focus and thought and actual full intent in it in my practice, then I know how powerful I am. I know how powerful I can be, and that is why I don't practice. So I do little things like I'll practice telepathy with some of my friends, and I'll do like atmokinesis, which is a weather manipulation that you can do with the mind, um, which I fully believe in these things. I wouldn't even be talking about them if I didn't actually. It's not that I believe them. Like I said before, I know that it's real, and I know that you could do that. That's what's messed up is that all the stuff that the military claims that they have is their like weaponry. Like we all had that. Each one of us individually had capability of doing that with our mind, and then they figured that out and they harnessed that, and now they've got us. They're using us and our energy, and then making us pay for it. I'm furious about that. Like that's the one thing. No, that trauma is forever there. I'm not really afraid of spiders, but like I will really try to. I go out of my way to try to remove them and make sure that they are that I literally will trap them up and let them outside and alive. Me and ants, I don't know why, because they're smaller than spiders, and I'm just like, no, you motherfucking fucking ant. Can't stand an ant. I don't know why. Ants drive me nuts. They drive me batshit crazy, and I have to battle them just about every single day because I'm in the basement, and anywhere there's like a basement, there's going to be insects of all kinds. It doesn't matter what. I like basement centipedes. Like, oh, I can't even. I can't even. So that's why I have a lot of spiders, and that's why I'm spider friendly because their job is to eat those centipedes. And like, matter of fact, there's one right now. Y'all, this is how disturbed I am, and how like non-interfering. Like, there's that whole what is it in Star Trek where there's that the observers or whatever, they just observe. They're not supposed to intervene or anything like that, right? So that's how I am with these spiders around here. There's a spider that's like it's got a web over here by the door where he always sits, and he never looks up, so he's not noticed it. And the spider's got like all kinds of little food items in its web. I've watched it for like a month now, and it's been consistently rolling up little insects in its web. I'm like, he was going to tear it down the other day. I was like, what are you doing? No, no. I said, see all those things? He's doing his job. We're not tearing his home down. He's doing his job. Yeah, they are. I think, well, for like example, there's right now, I'm watching this spider, and the spider actually lives in my wall in the bathroom, but I got two spiders in the bathroom. There's one that's under the toilet that hides up under the back side of the toilet, and then there's one that hides under the wall right when you walk in. He literally shoots in and out from underneath the wall. You can see him. But his web was built in the corner by the door, and a basement centipede got in there the other day. And I saw it when it first got in there. It's actually still alive, and I don't intervene. I'm sorry. That's what was happening. I'm not getting in the middle of it. Plus, the spider was actually wrapping him up at that time, so I was like, no. But and he's still in the process of some, I guess, like maybe dehydrating it. The spider or the spider is dehydrating the centipede in the web, because like I said, when he caught it, it was its normal color, which is like a weird brownish like color the basement centipedes are. And over the last 2 days, while I've watched it like try to slowly wrap it up, and it's like dehydrating that bug has turned completely black and like shrunk up. And I'm so morbid. I'm so morbid sometimes. Like I can't even. That sometimes I gross myself out. I go, "Damn, why are you even freaking weirdo?" So that's why I really do appreciate all of my subscribers, because I know how extra and weird I can be sometimes, and that there's that many people that can like relate to me. I think that is so awesome. I think that is so awesome, because I have spent a large chunk of my life being a weirdo in my own little bubble, and just had accepted the fact that I was going to be weird my whole life and not really have very many friends because of that, and just accepted it. However, one of my childhood friends has recently got in contact with me again, and she's is equally as weird as I am, so I love it. So now I have like a female bestie that I can go hang out with, and like because most of the time I can relate to men more. I don't know why. I think it could be because my mom was like that too. Um, but we're just so emotional, and we're so fickle, and we're so needy, and that's like that's why I don't have a girlfriend, because it would be hard for me to have a girlfriend. Being a woman and trying to relate to another woman, I don't know why it's so hard for us at times, but we make it so damn difficult. Like, how dare her sit over there and be a woman just like me? I can't even relate. Like, I don't even. Exactly, yank. Yes, it is. It really, really is. And if you're not vibing with people, you know you're not vibing with people, and you can't make it work if you guys are on two different frequencies. And people hear on different frequencies, so of course they're going to vibe differently. That's only natural, you know? But you can change your vibrational frequency. You can change it. I mean, that's the reason why I really am big on people with their negative energy. Like, I know I'm guilty of it sometimes, like, but I try to stay positive. Like, I get up every day in a good mood, and I try to stay in a good mood. But there's things like people know my buttons, and they like to push them. I'm not sure why, because I only push people's buttons if I feel like by me pushing their button, it's going to cause a positive change throughout the collective consciousness. That's when I will try to trigger someone. Like, I'm sure some of y'all have probably seen that video that I have. I have a short, really embarrassing, where I'm going off on another creator because I was triggered, and I felt like, oh my God, I need to let them know that they have triggered me to the fullest extent, and then make a jackass out of myself. So yeah, that worked out real good, Emma. Um, then I do like not just the stuff that I do with the treehouse, and then I also follow true crime. I don't discuss it a lot because I understand the reality of it is that there are real people out there going through real things in real life, and so it's hard. It's a hard community to be in, period. Whether you're a subscriber, whether you're a creator, whether you're a commentator, the true crime community is not for the faint of heart. It is not for the weak, um, or the thin skinned. That's for damn sure. Oh, I know that. Oh my gosh, that is what I live for. That kind of stuff. Like, whenever I'm actually able to telepathically communicate with someone, and they get it, like they actually heard what I was saying without me having to hint or say anything aloud, and they just go and they look at me and we acknowledge it, and it's like, oh, you heard me, like, oh man, I get so excited. Or when for the other day I was talking to Rich, and we have this we both had the same weird little habit. So when I was a kid, and I still do it to this day, like, I used to have a blanket when I was a kid that had like a silk, like, outer ribbon on the edge of it, trim, and I would always put it in between my fingers and just like rub the silk in between my fingers. My son does this too. He has a blanket that he does that with to this day, and I do it with the dog's ear now. Like, I'll just take the dog's ear and do it. But Rich does the same thing, and I was like, I think it's so cool that we're all so connected, that we will have some of the same little quirks and the same little mannerisms, and um, same little lingo. After you get to know someone and you guys like converse after a while, you guys talk similar and you pick up speech patterns. And that's the reason why the more and more I do research and I sit around and think about all this stuff, I just go, how did we get this far? And we were so brainwashed and asleep and just like, whoa. I have at least 10 of those moments every day when I'm watching, especially if I'm watching like Campbell or Bernie or Paul or something like that. There's never a time where I've not been watching them and been like, whoa, just absolutely lose my mind every single time. I love that stuff. I never got that in school. Like, I mean, there would be times where I would get the stuff right, the material, like I would be like, yeah, raise my hand, get it right, but not like this. Not like, you know what I mean? Like when you're educating yourself and stuff just starts clicking and it resonates with you and it's something that you've known like basically your whole life, but they kept telling you, no, that's not right. And you were like, no, you're wrong. So you just sit there in your wrongness and be wrong. That's why the biggest flaw I have sometimes is like relishing in that moment. Like I'm one of those people where I'm like, when I get it right, I'm like, yeah, whoa, yeah, seen that. Or I nail a shot like a basket free throw from across the room. I'm like, me. That's literally those little things like that. Those little moments where I'm just like, yeah, that's what I live for. Seriously, no kidding. Like if you're not getting out of bed every day for little moments like that, what are you getting out of bed for? And please don't tell me because I'm going to go to work. Because I will cry. And then I will call up my friend Claudia and I'll have her pray for you. I will send good vibes your way. But if that's the only reason you get out of bed is to go to work, God bless you. Yahweh, Elohim, whoever you pray to, may they bless you. And with an abundance of positivity. Because if that's all you get out of bed for, I can't even bless it. With squirrel damage. This is why I love you guys sometimes because I'm like, now you'll give me something to sit around and think about and ponder over for like 2 or 3 hours and go, what does that really mean? I do this like a lot. I just sit around and go, Just a lot of my day is spent sitting around making weird facial expressions and grunts and ahs and oohs. Very primitive, sedentary behavior that I have. Like SpongeBob, I'm going to filter feed off the sun. And I really do believe that we are supposed to be doing that too. Like we have a THC receptor in our brain and we have vitamin D receptors. We're supposed to be filter feeding off the sun and we're definitely supposed to be smoking weed. If you don't think that, then there's no telling what kind of crazy shit you got going on in your brain. To a mate named Steven. Okay. I've probably read your comment like at least 5 times now, and I'm still like, wiring was and Steven Universe? No. Or Stephen A. Smith or Stephen and Anita Smith from like Family Guy or American Dad. I love American Dad. Love American Dad. I mean, I didn't at first. I thought it was really weird, and I thought it was an awkward. Hi, thank you for joining us. We're just having a little chit chat about random stuff, random things that. It was about National Park, and then I got off on a tangent about technology, and then bugs, and now we're talking about different Stevens. Why not? Because it's not Kevin and it's not a Karen, and at least it's not a Karen, right? Steven's not Karen. We just need to know if Steven got the oranges up the stairs. No, that's right. Stelios did. The hanging out with me is a lot of that too. Is a lot of like weird, random song lyrics and movie quotes and references like of that nature. And then occasionally I get involved in a chat with my buddies that are like super woke and intelligent and just abundance of energy where you guys are always at, and I'm freaking in heaven. Like, did you see the live stream that Byrne did with that? Oh man, I cannot remember the guy's name, but they were talking about the intergenerational epigenetic trauma that we pass on and we received from our parents and they received from their parents. Like, that's probably one of the most profound videos I've watched all year, because I'm not good at articulating stuff like some of them are. Like, I'm good at some articulating some things. I'm not good at articulating everything, especially my feelings sometimes. Oh yeah, that could cause so many problems. Archaics? Ah, I know. Ah, but it wasn't him. It was this other guy. I want to say his name was Fred. He was an older dude. This was just like might have been a week ago. Does it seem like time has jumped for you guys too? Like it's going faster? That it suddenly started going fast. It's like time is different for me all the time. Like sometimes it's going fast, sometimes it's going slow, sometimes it's kind of like complacent, if that makes sense. Where I feel like time's not really going anywhere, but it still exists in some realm, but it's not ticking from it, does that make sense? Time, the word time and me and time and just but I love that song. The Pink Floyd song, Time. Oh, it's one of my favorites. I mean, it really is one of my favorites. But you know what? It's also a favorite of mine, and I just thought about it because I'm going through like a chocolate withdrawal. So I might need to make a beeline for the store and catch the sunset and get chocolate and show you guys what's going on up there. I could do that. I could actually do that. But then what if somebody was to steal my car while I was taking pictures? Or put on my skateboard? No, I haven't. Is it good? Is it like is it a book that that's not a book that is that a book that Jason published? Because I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. Now that it's out there in the ether and I know about it, it's only a matter of time before somebody gets it to me. I do have this big book about relationships and astrology, like whether it's friendship, relationship, whatever it is. It's like it ties that in so that you can have decent and functioning and meaningful relationships and friendships with people based on your astrology sign and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool because I'm like into the birth chart because it matters. Like it definitely matters when you were born and where the astrology stuff was going, where it was in space time in the universe when you arrived. It matters. It definitely matters because I'm a Sagittarius and I think I don't know if this is just me, but as a Sagittarius, I feel like we are being very much affected by a lot of the things going on right now because our sign, our star is like at the center of the galaxy or whatever, right? Yeah. We're at the center of Sagittarius. Milky Way is at the center of Sagittarius. See, again, that's just one of those things where I start thinking about it and I just go, and my mind blows up. And I just say, what are we doing here again? Why are we, what? Okay, I'm going to get back to it. Whatever it is I'm supposed to be doing. I'm going to have to check that book out, though. Is it about star seeds or like light beings and stuff like that and where we're going? I bet it's got to do with that. It sounds really interesting. Oh, wow. Peru. Like Machu Picchu in that area and stuff? That's pretty cool. Wow. Does it end good? Is it sad? Or is it like one of those like he finds himself kind of things that's why he goes there? I'm gonna have to as soon as I get off here in a minute, I'm going straight to thrift books or one of the audio things to see if there's an audio version of it. I'm also thinking that I'm gonna do because I I found a copy of the Merriam-Webster dictionary, and I feel like We just probably should go over that again, given the global state these days, and people like to just make up their own words and give it a definition and go with it, or give it a hashtag and then it's a thing, or it's trending, I guess. Is that what, when you get a hashtag, it's see that, yeah, that's what I was saying. Man, the ego. I love it when we talk about when we talk about the ego in the Wide Awake show or at the treehouse, because it's a good thing to it's good to know it. It's good to be aware of it and how it affects you and how it can drive you in ways that you can use it to your benefit and not let it be your downfall. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I meant to say. So, see what I mean? Sometimes I'll say some stuff and it's like not even me that gets in my head and puts those words out, and it's so awesome that I'll sit back. Sometimes I'm watching my old videos and I go, "Wow, Em, that was pretty smart. You said that? That was you?" Yeah. Sometimes I do. I have those moments where I go, "I don't even remember saying that, but that was so cool." So, um, it is Tuesday. It is Tuesday. For some reason, I was thinking it was Wednesday. Sometimes I lose a day in time, space, space. Bleh. Can't words for garbage. Space time. In space time. I don't know if I've given anybody an update on my grandkids lately, but so Issa she was like not really talking before, but now she's starting to talk because they put her in some speech therapy, so she's picking up talking now. But now she's decided, because she's talking, that having mommy take pictures and send them to Gigi is just too much. Can't do it. Can't do it. So we'll talk to Gigi, but only in videos that's pre-recorded. Huh. That is very interesting. I wonder, hmm, it did make me, or it could make me the complete. I'm in some ways I'm a lot like her, but then there's a lot of things that I'm polar opposite when it comes to some things. My mom is very mild mannered and doesn't pop off. Like, I really, this is the honest to God's truth. My mom just had a birthday, and she's several years older than me, so I'm not gonna out my mom like that. But um, I've seen her mad maybe a handful of times, and I mean a handful, I mean probably less than 5 in my whole life. Have I seen that woman like lose her temper and yell? Really, she's very calm and resolved. And me, no, no. My mama don't even have her ears pierced. She's super modest and super like old school. Um, and doesn't hardly ever cuss. Like, she may ever go once in a while, but for the most part, no. So to have a daughter like me, I'm sure she just goes, "Oh, what did I do? What did I do, Lord? Why did you give me that?" No, I doubt that. I'm sure my mama just thinks I'm just awesome. My mama loves me. And my mom, my mom was so cute. She's like a little tiny woman. She's shorter than I am. So everything my mom does, everybody thinks is adorable because mom is small and she's so short and so cute and tiny. I love it. I was talking to my daughter the other day about my parents, because she had called them and was talking to them, and then called me and was talking to me about it. And so me and her were having a conversation about my parents, and we're just laughing because they're so cute. Because when your parents get older and you see them and how cute they're, they're so cute. My parents are actually still together too. So I know some people's are not, but mine are. And when I see them interacting, and I see them interacting with my kids and then their kids, or my daughter's kids, and then just time. Again, time is one of those things. But I love my parents, and I'm so grateful and blessed for the set of parents that I ended up with on this planet. whatever it is, this plane of existence that we're on or in or about. I don't even know how to say that. Yeah, I'm super blessed. I was super blessed. My parents are probably some of the most awesome parents anybody, especially someone like me that's so weird and needed parents that would allow me to be expressive in ways that most people's parents don't let their children be expressive. Like as far as like when you're in elementary school, for the most part, your parents are dressing you. You don't really get to pick what you wear, but not me and my sister. We got to pick what we wore. And when we went school shopping, my mom would let us actually pick what we wanted to buy, and she would buy it even if she didn't necessarily agree with it. And that's what we were wearing. But she would let us know, like, don't be trying to switch it up mid-year. That's what you got. That's what you get. Because, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I don't want to talk about the disgusting nature that a large portion of society had to raise the generation that I'm from on financially, what they were making. I can't even believe we're just now getting minimum wage to what it is here. That's disgusting. It should have been the rate it is now 20 years ago. We shouldn't have had, you know what I mean? Like we shouldn't be asking for this now. We should have been making that already. We should be asking for $20 an hour or more at this point. We should have, honestly, we should have been making $20. I don't even know. I just, money, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I really can't. And so I get conflicted about the UBI, that universal basic income thing, and uh, socialism and communism, and just that's when politics start getting involved, and then Emma just kind of like dips out of the room, like, "Whoop, it's not for me. Bye. Let's get on out of here. Let's go. You want to go get some ice cream?" That's me when politics comes up, like, "Whoop, swerve. About got hit by that shit. Not today, Satan. Not today." So, yeah, I've noticed that it's Tony. Uh, why is it? It's on the tip of my tongue. And guy Richie, like maybe not, maybe not. So your father's a filmmaker, though? That's so cool. That's really cool. My dad actually does is actually really good at doing hair and makeup. I don't know. I've never. My dad is a very quiet man. Oh, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. Oh my gosh. Mm, get me started on that mess. Oh, they good grief. It really should have. There's no, and what we do to our returning veterans and stuff like that, just, oh man, I get fired up. I've noticed too that uh, when I start to go off on a tangent and I'm outside and I have my headphones in, swear this happens every time. You hear how it's like, it's super quiet in here right now. You can hear a mouse fart. But if I was outside talking and being loud, there would be dump trucks just fall out of the fucking sky and start coming up the street out of nowhere. I don't know what the hell that's all about, but all summer, last summer too, every time I'd be walking and I'd be recording a video or trying to talk in any way, period, here would come the trucks. And then random neighbors would start mowing their lawn. And when I'm sitting here being quiet, that's how it is. As soon as I open my mouth, oh God, we got to shut her down, y'all. We got every dump truck out there on the street right now, and they're just coming up the hill, just as loud as can be. I'm just like, that's rude. Y'all know that's rude. I'm like, and I know that y'all know that I'm trying to record right now, so don't even act like you don't, because you do. And if I'm walking down the street and they drive by me doing that, I yell like I'm that crazy lady yelling at random truckers for no reason, just other than like, ah! I'm angry. I'm an angry little person. I try to sort that out daily. You say you sound like somebody else. Everything is. I know, right? But who's the? And it's like even if he was here and we were talking to him, we wouldn't believe it. So we can't really blame him for not wanting to come down here with us, can we? Enter the planes. The plane, indeed the plane. Oh, I know. I grew up watching horror movies, and my dad always told us, like, just remember, this is not real. I just wish he would have been like, hey, none of this is real. Now do with it what you will. Well, they kind of did. I mean, they didn't say, like go out there and do whatever you want, because I have a conscience and I have awareness and I also have empathy. So it's hard for me to just go out there and do whatever I want because the psycho in me says, kill, kill, kill. And you can't do that. And then there's the empath in me that goes, Emma, you got to love them through this. You got to hug it out. Let's hug it out. Let's hug it out. And then they'll say something while we're hugging it out. And I'm just like, why did I do that? But I digress. I found a huge pile of bear poop in my yard. So no, bears don't all shit in the woods. I know that was really random. I just started thinking about that. I was like, because it's a big pile, like right in the yard, in the front yard too. In a residential area, like in the city, in like suburbs. Like, come on. What are you doing just pooping in the yard? Poo. Like, what would you expect him to do? Clean up? Like, no. Oh, no. I'm not going to clean it up. I might clean it up. I might go out there and clean it up and bring it to the backyard and put it in the woods near the tree that's down. But I mean, because it's a huge pot. And it's like when I leave to go to the store to go get my chocolate or whatever, it's right. I use the game trail, the trail that goes by the house that the animals use. I use the same one when I leave and I walk down the street. And it's right in the middle of the trail. Like he didn't even step off trail to duty. He just was like, hey, right here in the middle of the lane. I'm going to stay in my lane today. I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm like, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Thank you. Maybe next time you just pull over. That'd be great. The bear's like, no. Yeah, and I've seen them. Like there was a mama bear and two cubs. I think it was last year, or it might have been the year before that. But I have it on video where like the mama just walked by like it was like it's a normal thing for us around here to see the bear and the deer and all that. But where I live with my parents is higher up on the mountain, and there wasn't a lot of animals up there like that. And they run them all off and down in here into the city, I guess. Plus the bears go where the food's at. And there's a lot of food in there. And it was a real because I saw it. Oh, yeah. And I said, okay, I said this yesterday. I said, so if you take the from the masses, which means you take the critical thinking, which they've done to a lot of us, out of the masses, then you have a bunch of asses. So they're not sheeple. They're asses. Because at this point, I feel like if you're not aware of some of this stuff and you're not educating yourself on it, then you are being willfully ignorant. I love that video. Are you serious? That's like one of my favorite like retro videos, music videos. That and the Dire Straits, Money for Nothing is another one. And we were watching Peter Gabriel Sledgehammer the other day. And then I put on Voices Carry. And then when I got in the car the next day, the universe was like, oh, by the way, we're listening. And put it back on. I was like, I already knew that. I already knew you were listening, but you don't have to rub it in. That is now that song's gonna be stuck in my head too for the rest of the night. Like, might as well face it, you're addicted. I love that song because all those chicks, their hair's all in a ponytail. They all have like BA red lipstick on. Like I can't wear red lipstick. I wear black. Black lipstick was made for him. red lipstick was made for those chicks, and they make it look awesome. They really do. They make that whole video look awesome. But you know what? Okay, the Rickroll thing. That is a kid, y'all. I do not know. That's a kid. That's a kid. That's a kid. Shut the front door. Are you serious? That is crazy. That's crazy. That's so cool, though. That's so cool. That's the one video with the animation that they talk about in Family Guy, and yeah, that is so cool. So your dad's like a big deal, even though you're trying to like downplay your dad's a pretty big deal. Sometimes I come to the weirdest conclusions about my dad and my mom in like the grand scheme of things. Like, I think we have been lied to about so much stuff, y'all. The crazy conspiracies that I'm able to come up with by noon some days would just, and most of the time they're pretty baseless. It just have some weird 1-2 dot connectors, and I go, oh, this means this. Boom, the end. And where'd you come up with that freaking crazy shit? That is so cool. I think that's so cool. I've not met many musicians. I've been to a couple of concerts here in Asheville at the Orange Peel, and then there was one at the what they call the Harris Cherokee Casino Center. Because there's a venue here that Asheville like basically auctions off the rights to have their name displayed there for years. It was called the Asheville Civic Center, and the city of Asheville had put in the bid, so they were able to call it the Asheville Civic Center. Then a couple years ago, Harris Cherokee Casino put in on the bid, so it's called Harris Harris Cherokee Casino Event Center, I think is what it's called. And they're supposed to be I think the bid is supposed to go in again this year. So Harris will probably bid on it again, but other businesses have a chance to put in a bid for the name. And back to the national park stuff. So Klingman's Dome wasn't always called Klingman's Dome. It was called look, I think the way you say it is Kiwi, even though it's not spelled like Kiwi. It's in South Carolina, but it looks like it's pronounced the same. And so the reservation have put in a motion to have the name switched back, and so it looks like that is actually a very real possibility that it could get changed back, which I think is super cool because again, like I said, being in a biosphere, living here my whole life, the land is we're so connected to the land too. That's another reason why it's so like I said, it's ingrained in my DNA and important. I don't know. Sometimes I get these weird, crazy, like conspiracy thoughts in my head about. I really do think sometimes though people are like conspiring against me. I really do a lot. Even people that I try to trust and are friends with, a lot of times they will do stuff that make me think that they are conspiring against me. And now why they're conspiring against me at any given time, I don't really know. But I get that vibe, that energy that like they're trying to direct me or position me or set me up for something to, I don't know. But it is really starting to, yeah, it is starting to affect me like on a level that like, this is another reason why I don't go out of the house and don't interact with people a lot, because I don't want to be an ass and accuse them of conspiring against me when in reality they're not. But then again, in reality, they could be. I don't know. You know? Because that's how we're able to, you can manipulate the weather, you can manipulate all that stuff if you are able to tap into that frequency that it's on. So like if you get into that vibrational energy that the trees are resonating with, then you can, in essence, just will it for the wind to blow or whatever. I really do believe that. Part of me thinks that I might be the reason why that tree event happened on the 4th, honestly. Part of me does think that. Just because I was so angry. I was so angry that day that it rained. It was on the 4th of July, and it rained pretty much all day except for when the fireworks display was supposed to happen. Yeah, I know. But it's like, but isn't it? It's like ours. Because if it's mine, because some days I do sit here and think, oh my gosh, and what if all of this and all of that and all of them out there you've created? What if I've created that? Like, then I sit back and watch the news and go, oh my God, look at what you did. But all of these things are set, I believe, in our path, our destiny, or whatever. So, like, if it's meant for you to do it, you're going to do it, whether you and even if you try to backpedal and dance around it, some way or another, the universe will set you right back on track where you're supposed to be for your end game, wherever you're supposed to end up in the grand scheme of things in the picture. Like our whole destiny, I believe, has already been mapped out before us, before we get here. And the journey is which choices and what path we take while we're here to get to that one end goal or game or whatever it is. And what you do with that knowledge in your journey while you're here, how you share it with other people and how you experience it with other people is part of what we're supposed, is part of the assignment. I feel like it is anyways. For example, like, it would be really dumb of me to not, after becoming a grandma for sure, take time to reflect back on how I was as a mom, how being a teen parent is traumatic to your children because you're a kid yourself and you're still growing up while you're still raising children. And so for the large part, both my kids were raised by straight up a child. I will admit that, like, my maturity level then compared to now were like night and day. And so it's sad. But it's just one of those things, like, that is what I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, dealing with my kids, and then working through all of that with them. Like, yeah, your mom messed up and I had you guys really early. That's why I did a lot of the crazy dumb shit I did when y'all were little, and that's why y'all are a little bit traumatized, and that's why your mom was a little kooky, because she raised kids while she was still growing up. But that's what makes me a really cool grandma, because I'm able to, like, relate to the kids better. And, like, when my daughter and I are talking about them, she'll be telling me about something that one of them is doing, and I'm just like, I can instantly just go into their shoes and see it through their eyes, and then articulate it to Holly to where she is able to understand the kids better. So in essence, it's made me a better mom and grandma because I'm able to, like, reflect back on that stuff now. And I think if I didn't do that and was just, like, monotonous and mindless and didn't take the time out to do stuff like that, then that would be a failure of this mission that we have as humans on planet Earth or whatever. That would be the failure. That would be me failing, is if I didn't take the time through this process every once in a while to stop and look on myself and reflect on what I've done and how that's affected others and how I can make it better in the future as I go on, continue on the journey. Yeah. So if you would even try to get this through to my head, to the Emma that I was 10 years ago, I would have laughed. Anything that I talk about nowadays, if you would have tried to talk to me about this 10 years ago, I would have been like, you crazy as hell. Like, why are we hanging out with them? They're not right. They're over there talking about aliens. Let's go. No. But now, after all the stuff I've been through and a lot of trauma in the last 7 or 8 of those years, I've grown a lot I'm still growing. Still growing. This butterfly is not out of caterpillar stage yet. But that's what's cool about it. is that you get to see your progress and you get to see where you've come from and how you've progressed. That's what that's what I like about just living every day, is getting to look back and see the progress that I've made and see the changes that I've made and see that they're good. They're for the good. And that and some days I even have some sort of impact that's meaningful and positive on other people's lives. That's why I get up and do what I do every day. And despite some of the stuff that I have to deal with in my personal life sometimes, it's these things. It's my kids, my grandkids, these moments where I get to stop and I get to interact with people and I get to think about how much I have come along, and that's why I do it. So we get all flustered and start crying and be all weird, which I'm doing so. I think most of the time I'm one of those people that just jump on and ride the wave until it crashes and then pick up the pieces afterwards, if it does. You know, I try to avoid sharks though. I do that. I do try to avoid sharks, but I mean, all yeah. And I think I hear the doorbell. I'm not sure, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up because perfect time. It's like 1:11, so all ones because we resonate with the one, all source. Yeah. So that's where I'm gonna sign off. And you have two. You have a boy that's 12. My daughter, she'll be 21 in January, so my son will be 16. And my grandbabies are 2, and Giovanni is 3, 4. He's 4 months old now. Giovanni Elio, and Isabella Rose. Yes, they have very, very elegant names. I love it. I'm so like, so I love it. It just goes with. I feel like it goes with like my names. Those are Emma's grandchildren, Isabella and Giovanni. Yeah, very, very regal. I feel like I'm such a dork. Sometimes I really am. But thank you for hanging out with me for even an hour. I think that's so cool. When like I honestly do appreciate when I do these live streams or when you guys watch my videos that you watch even a minute of them, because my son was giving me crap over the intro. Mom, 30 minutes, cap the intro, 30 seconds, cap the intro and get into it. Either say what you got to say or move it on. I was like, all right. So he's like, I'm just trying to help. I was like, I love you. So, or yes, Orson. I love that. And Florence too, like Florence and the Machine. Oh, yes. That's really cool. I love those names. I really do. So, what is this? Conspiracy crosses. Has somebody been spying on me, not saying anything this whole time? Rich. So I'm gonna have to go check out that short, and I'm gonna go get some chocolate, and then maybe again tomorrow. I might pop up tomorrow. Thank you. Seriously, it means a lot to me. I appreciate it. And then anybody that's watching on the recap, I'll see you guys next time.